Alright, Operation Stonedilla Cribber Operation Procedure Outline. Stonedilla Cribber Operation Maintenance Manual. Stonedilla Cribber Operation Procedure Outline. Start the engine pump must be off. Engine speed set to low. Travel prep mode should be also selected. Allow air pressure to build for your proper air brake performance. Select either the service or dead man brake. If in service, you should push the brake pedal to stop. Release the brake pipe. Turn on the pump. Disengage the power blocks for the rail clamps. The right hand panel. Disengage the power locks. Workhead panel. Right hand panel. Select the work-to-work travel switch. Select the desired cribbing direction, left or both or right. Place the cancel on hand control over the workhead on the lock position. Once clear of the locks, automatically move the home position for the mode to clear. Mode selected at the height. You can select a different cribbing mode. It will automatically move to the appropriate home position once the sequence of the reaching home position is complete and ready for the work of the selection. Set the button if enabled. Position the machine over the tie that is to be removed. Press the set button. Put this lower the workhead closes the tie. Assures the machine is properly machined. The height is lowered, adjustable on the dial. The right hand panel. The rail clamps are applied. If needed, propel the machine to position workhead properly over the tie. If you propel for more than a minimal distance measured by the PLC for the timing, the workhead automatically raises to protect against the potential obstruction. If it happens, simply complete the position of the machine, then press set again. Select the desired scrape depth using the dial of the right-hand panel. When satisfied with the workhead positioned properly over the tie pressure of the scrape, allow auto cycle button. The automatic cycle will occur as follows. 1. First scrape lowers it into the ballast predetermined depth. Ballast is pushed up into the push to the just short of the rail. Direction depends on the cribbing direction mode. Raise above the tie and return the tools to the home position. The second scrape lower the midway point based on the final depth set point. The ballast is pushed and the tools will reach under the rail. The tools retract enough to clear the rail, raise it above the tie, and returns the tool to the home position. Your third scrape lower the depth into the set point. If it cannot be reached the depth in a certain amount of time, the cycle will continue to end. A fourth scrape will automatically occur later. Ballast is pushed and tools will reach under the rail. Rail is just short of the bottom of the rail. Tools retract enough to clear the rail. If the full depth has reached, but raised above the rail and return to the home position. The fourth scrape. If the full depth was not reached in the third scrape sequence, and the fourth scrape will automatically occur. The ballast is pushed and tools will reach under the rail and raise it too short of the bottom of the rail. Tools retract enough to clear the rail and rails raised above the rail return to the home position. Alright, your single scrape. If more material is desired remains the crib, you may initiate the extra scrape sequence if intended to be faster than the full sequence goes straight to the full depth. If this is only enabled after the normal auto scrape sequence has occurred, once the machine is moved, any modes have been changed and is disabled. At the end of the auto scrape sequence, the home position will automatically reset. On the end, once the sequence for the reaching of the home position is completely ready for the work, the set button is enabled. Press the set. It lowers the workhead to the set height. The height is adjustable by the dial on the right-hand panel. The rail clamps are applied. Place the single scrape button. Lower the depth set point. Height is adjustable by the depth dial on the right-hand panel. If it cannot reach the depth in a certain amount of time, the cycle will continue. Ballast is pushed. Tools will reach under the rail. Rail raised just short enough to the bottom of the rail. Tools retract enough to clear the rail. Raise above the rail to return the home position, and the sequence can be repeated as long as the machine has not moved a certain sequence in the cycle. If position is not reached, then the time cycle will automatically end and raise to the home position. At any time, you can end the cycle by pressing cancel button. This stops the sequence and the workhead returns to the home position. This will also work when you are set position when you want to return to the home position. From the home position, workhead can be returned to the lock and pressing the holding of the cancel buttons between the two seconds. Once the sequence starts, release button. The workhead also returns to the lock from any position, switching the travel mode. Your tie pusher. After a crib has been cleared, the tie pusher can be used to push the forward into the crib. The machine must be in work mode. The crib workhead is below the locks, and the tie pusher camera is automatically displayed in monitor number 1. When the locks and forward camera is displayed, see plow wing section. Disengage the power locks for the tie pusher right-hand panel. The machine must respond for its function. On a normal 24-inch concrete tie spacing must have forward approximately 2 sides. A camera is used to aid this operation proper so that the crib and trip tie is between the alignment guides visible in the monitoring number 1. If you're too far forward, it will hit the top of the tie and miss. If you're too far back, it will hit the top of the tie behind it and not push the tie far enough. Once positioned, the machine must stop for the operation to be enabled. In and surface the brake mode, apply with the brake pedal. Press the tie push cycle button, and the tie pusher will automatically extend and retract the time sequence. Move over the workhead ties visible on the monitoring number 1. The tie pusher automatically retracts when the machine is in travel mode. Your plow wings. The machine must be in work mode of the operation. The crib with the workhead lock position monitoring number 1 will display the forward camera except when backing up into the camera monitoring section. Monitor 2 is configured as a split screen with the left plow on the left-hand side of the screen, the right plow on the right-hand side of the screen. Disengage the power locks with the wings on the right-hand panel. The locks on the left and right wing are controlled separately. Use the joysticks to move the wings. Hard stop near the wing lock. This is set for the maximum depth. In preparing the travel, you must retract the wings of the joystick, which will still work in the mode. Using caution, all personnel and instructions are clear. Wings and automatically raise when the machine is put to travel mode. Are your cameras and monitors. Monitor number 1, travel mode. The forward camera is displayed on default when the reverse propel pedal is pressed. The rear camera is displayed it stays until the forward propel pedal is pushed in and the machine has come to a stop at the time amount. For example, the brake is not applied, but the machine is coasting and the rolling backwards. If the reverse is camera, it stays on. Work mode. If the workhead of the lock position, fully raised forward camera is in default. The workhead is below the lock position. The pusher camera is as default. When the reverse propel pedal is pressed for a timed amount, the rear camera is displayed. The time delay is so the time pusher camera stays displayed when spotting the machine for the tie pusher operation. Once the reverse camera is on, it will stay until the forward propel pedal is pushed and the machine has come to the stop of the timeout. Monitor number 2 that displays the same all modes is configured with a split screen with the left of the plow on the left side of the screen and the right plow on the right side of the screen. Alright, machine shutdown. Using the joysticks to raise and retract the tie exchange workhead on the right control console, place the lock and unlock switches into the lock position. Right clamps, gripper's plow, and tie pusher, making certain that they are fully engaged. Press the start reset button on the joystick and set is needed to ensure the rail lift workhead is lowered. Release the rails, pulling the brake switch out to set the parking brake. Placing the engine speed switch to the low position, placing the hydraulic switch pump to the off position, placing the ignition switch to the off position, placing the battery disconnect switch to the off position. Towing. Maximum towing speed is 20 miles an hour. Reducing speed accordingly dictated by the weather and track conditions. Remember that the machine way approach the weight of the towing vehicle may increase stop of the distance accordingly. The following steps must be taken before the towing of your machine. Install the lockups, heat the lockups in section, drain the air tanks, check all the wheels, remove the top of the bolt of the backside of the air canister, insert the bottom of the brake canister, tighten the T-bolt until the brake releases. Spring inside of the canister will compress and raise the brake head from the wheel. Position the propulsion bypass valve in the towing position. Remove the drive chains if the machine is in towed long distance. Inspect the tow vehicle coupler for the loose of the damaged parts. Back towing the vehicle to the machine and engage the couplers. Keep the hands and the fingers clear of the coupling device at all the other pinch points. Ensure that the coupling device is fully engaged and closed and locked. Ensure the coupling devices and rear frame members of the towing vehicle will not interfere with the restrict motion of any part of the machine. Maneuvering, remove the checks for the towing. When the towing is complete, loosen the T-bolt on the bottom of the brake canister until the brakes come in contact with the wheel. Move the T-bolt, return it into its standard position into the back of the brake canister. Return the propulsion bypass valve to the work or travel position. Alright, maintenance. Maintenance and service. Generally, recommended service interval for the normal operation conditions. Service more often than engines operated under the adverse conditions. See it in maintenance and extreme condition later in this section. Neglecting the maintenance can result in failures or permanent damage to the equipment. Safety during maintenance. All others in an area of the service and maintenance is being performed on the machine. Become familiar within your company's lockout and tagout procedure while performing the maintenance of the machine. See the lockout tagout requirements and safety section of this manual. Do not start the engine repairs of the work that has been performed alone. You should always have two people working together if the engine must be running during service. One person needs to remain in the command position at the controls ready to stop the machine and shut off the engine if the need arises. Requesting assistance. If you have any question regarding the maintenance and service of this machine, please call the Narco Service Department 1-800-445-9258. The process will be faster if you have the following information at hand before calling: the machine model number and the serial number. All right, lubrication maintenance. The service points of the machine adjustment and inspection and lubrication are indicated with the following illustrations of the items listed on the chart that describe the D1, W1, M1, Q1, A1 designation. These points are shown with the illustration refer to the service intervals daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. For this point of the machine, the maintenance instructions are given for each of these and are separated with service intervals. All right, your suspension ion brake propulsion lube chart. Daily maintenance. One is right here. The brake lever pivot 1 per 4 total spec C. Remote wheel bearing fitting 1 4/4 2. 3 suspension air pilot valve 1 per 4 total. All right, weekly maintenance. 4 propulsion chain 1 per 4 total. 5 check sprockets for wear 2 per 8 total. Brake canister arms 1 per 4 wear 4 total. 6 7 check brake pads for wear. 8 is tighten all bolts. Spec A is engine oil, Spec B is hydraulic oil, Spec C is grease. Alright, this shows the workhead lubrication. A, the boom roller pin 16 grease. B, the boom roller pin upper surface grease. C, the boom outer pad 2 grease. D, the boom roller lower surface 4 grease. E, the workhead frame roller 4 grease. 5 cylinder attachment pin 8. G, boom and weak pads 14. H, inside wear pads 2 grease. Alright, the plow wing lubrication front rail clamp lubrication. 1, the plow wheel pivot 2 pin grease. Plow wheel B, the plow wheel cylinder attachment pins 4 grease. 4 C, wing cylinder attachment pins 4 grease. D, wing lower outer link pins 4 grease. E, wing lower inner link pins 4 grease. 5, wing upper link pins 4 grease. G, inner rail clip cylinder pin 2 grease. H, outer rail clamp cylinder pin 2 grease. I, rail clamp roller pin 2 C grease. J, rail clamp pivot pin 2 B grease. And K, rail clamp bracket pin 4 grease. Alright, rear rail clamp tie pusher lubrication A, B, and C, and D, and E. And then on the both sides there's F, H, J, H, I, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L. A, inner rail clamp cylinder pin 2 grease. B, outer rail clamp cylinder pin 2 grease. C, rail clamp roller pin 2 grease. D, rail clamp pivot 2 grease. E, rail clamp bracket pin 4 grease. F, tie pusher plate pin 1 grease. G, upper link top attachment pin 2 grease. Upper link bottom attachment pin 2 grease. I, lower link top attachment pin 2 grease. J, lower link bottom at the top attachment pin 2 grease. K, tie pusher cylinder rod N2 P grease. L, tie pusher cylinder cap N2 grease. Alright, daily, 10-hour, whichever comes first. The books refer to the MFRS manual component data. The downward arrow points for more detailed instructions followed. Note that all the engine maintenance should follow the instructions engine manufacturer operation manual and the items below the following general reference. Only maintenance should be performed before engine startup. Daily AM. Alright, daily engine check number 1. Check the engine oil. Daily engine check oil coolant level. Daily engine number 3. Drain fuel water separator. More detailed instruction files. D4 through D5. Refer to the MFRS manual component data. Clean the duster underload valve if equipped and check the fuel filter. D6, daily inspection. Number 6, check the engine air cleaner indicator if equipped. Replace as necessary. Hydraulic D8, more in through not 10 or more details. D8, check the hydraulic oil level quality site inspection gauge fill as required. Daily inspection number 9, check the hydraulic oil filter indicated with the front control panel requires the machine running and working. Daily inspection number 10, inspect the hoses fitting in for leaks. Miscellaneous day 20. Daily item 26, fill and fuel tank end of the day. Daily task 27, inspect electrical connections harness for light and tightness. Miscellaneous daily inspection number 28, drain air tanks. Alright, detailed daily instructions. D1, engine, checking engine oil. Doing the following before starting the engine for the first time each of the day. And important, do not add makeup oil until the oil level below the crosshatch marks on the dipstick. Check the engine oil on the dipstick as required using the seasonal viscosity grade or the diesel engine oil fuels, lubricants, and coolant section oil specifications. Important, do not fill above the top of the mark of the dipstick oil levels anywhere the crosshatch are considered with acceptable operating range. Engine oil capacity at 20 quarts. See engine manual for the detailed instructions. D2, engine checking oil coolant level. Check the coolant level daily and add the coolant necessary. Do not overfill. Make a daily visual check of the coolant and system leaks and look for an accumulation of the coolant for the engine running at the when it stops. Filling of the cooling system with the coolant at the bottom of the fill neck with the radiator fill and the expansion type. Do not add coolant to the hot engine. Engine may be damaged, allowing the engine to cool before adding coolant. See the engine manual for detailed instructions. D3, checking the fuel, water, and separator. Check the fuel, water separator daily. D4, engine, clean the dust under the loader valve if so equipped. Check the fuel, water, and separator daily. D5, engine, check fuel filter. Check the fuel for water supply daily. D6, and check the engine air cleaner indicator. Check the fuel water separator daily. DH, hydraulically, check the hydraulic oil level and quantity. Inspect the oil level on a daily basis every 10 hours of the operation. Reading the sight glass located with the side of the reserve at the fuel level. The oil should be the top of the sight with the hydraulic system using SA20 ISO 46 oil. Before filling the system with the hydraulic oil, be sure that the fluid is specified that it is clean. Do not use the clothing strainers. Fill fluid that has been stored in the contaminated containers. Care should be taken with the hydraulic oil free of dust and water sealing compounds. Other foreign matter when using the sight glass. Verify the oil quality. If the oil becomes darker and the milky color, if it should be charged and immediately, do not know always add hydraulic oil to the reserve reservoir through a filter. Never overfill the reservoir. Never use the hydraulic brake fluid in lieu of the hydraulic oil. Alright, D9, hydraulic. Check the hydraulic fuel indicator's main control panel. To keep the hydraulic system clean and free from the moisture, there is a return line filter and a strainer hydraulic system. The hydraulic oil filters have indicator lights on the center console to provide a visual display of the filter cleanliness. Units are equipped with the additional main pump pressure filter, the filter indicator with the box of the operating of the visual status for the condition on the filter. The green light indicates no service required, but the red light means the service as required. The suction strainer has indicated the device and must be visually inspected. Alright, D10, hydraulic inspection of hose fittings and leaks. Look for loose or disconnected hose. Any oil below the machine there is good indication of the loose hose or hydraulic component. Make certain that the shutoff valve of the suction strainer is open the valve that can often correct what appears to be malfunction. Inspecting all vital hose connections, especially at the main pump at the main pump hose connection at the manifold. Look at the cover the damage and indication of the twisted, worn, and cramped, brittle, and cracked from leaking head hoses. Outer covering through the otherwise damage should be considered until the further services. D26, fill the fuel tank at the end of the day. The refill of the tank at each of the end of the day's operation, preventing the condensation, contamination of fuel, inspection of fuel level of the daily basis every 10 hours of operation by reading the side of the gauge on the side of the reserve. Use diesel fuels only. D27 miscellaneous, inspecting electrical connections and harnesses for tightness. Daily inspection of the harnesses connected with the control operated with the control box, both left and right control box or foot switches, lock and box are required. Harness that may be proper condition could cause problems starting and stopping the machine. In addition, with the harness connection, the foot switch should be inspected with regular basis to guard against wear, deterioration, etc. If notice excessive wear and breakdown, replace the switch. D28 miscellaneous, drain air tanks. Alright, your weekly 40 hours, whichever comes first. Task, week one task, perform all daily lubrication maintenance procedures. 4-2, check battery condition. 4-3, oil pressure change. With more details, week 4, item number 4, oil propulsion, check chain adjusting nuts. Week number 5, grease, brake lever, pilot, valve and suspension arm pilot. Item number 6, grease aero bearings. More details. Item number 7, check the suction straining element. Alright, 4-3, oil propulsion change. When inspecting the drivetrain, the chain should be nearly taut with 1/4 inch plate just pressed at the center, not adjusting the center necessary to see below. If the chain is too tight with the century with the sprockets may cause the chain to stretch and break. If the chain is too loose, then the starting and the stopping of the machine will shock the load of the chain, resulting in shorting the chain life. Failure. Worn stretch chain will also cause the short sprocket life, and loaded will not caused but carried all teeth in the sprocket, resulting in excessive load on the few teeth. To adjust the drivetrain, remove the propulsion chain guard, unscrew the adjusting screw and lock nut. Do not remove it from the screw. Turn the adjusting screw clockwise to tighten the chain and counterclockwise to loosen the chain. Once the desired tightness has been reached, tighten the adjusting screw, lock nut, reinstall the chain guard. Weekly item number 5, grease brake, lever pivot, suspension arm pivot. Alright, they show the grease spots, and then it shows pivot grease fittings are located with the brake lever pivoted and suspension arm pivot. Alright, weak grease axle bearings. Periodic inspection of axle bearing space with the weight breakdown required to keep this malfunction function properly. Inspect the hardware proper fit. Secure all loose nuts and bolts. Check the spacers A for the wear. Wheel brake bearing grease fittings are located with the underside of the pillow blocks. Remote wheel grease fillings of the wheels are located on the outside of the suspension arm. Whether the conditions or the time intervals of the greasing in general, small amount of the grease should be okay. With the overgreasing may cause the seal failure. Grease hardening of the edge will occur with the bearing, and it shall be taken apart with clean, re-lubricated following manufacturer instruction with the component data if supplied. Check the automatic greasing assembly for the proper strange. Alright, week item number 7, check the suction strainer element located on the side of the reservoir. Remove inspection filter after the first 40 hours of the operation every year. Thereafter, clean as required to the access filter. 1. Turn off the engine. Make certain the suction valve is closed and off and counterclockwise. Remove the padlock. 1. Pull out the plug attached to the cable. 3. Use Allen wrench. Turn the screws inside of the plug housing clockwise to open, counterclockwise to close. Remove the 6 cap screws. Lift off the front cover to remove the process to reattach the cover. Note if any reason for the removal of suction line filter necessary, you must seal the hydraulic tank to prevent the external contamination. Alright, monthly or 150 hours, whichever comes first. Monthly task number 1, perform all daily, weekly lubrication and maintenance procedures. Monthly task number 2, check the fan, alternators, generator belts. Monthly task number 3, check engine oil and filters. Monthly task number 4, check the brake shoes for wear. Monthly task number 5, run the pressure check valves, main pump, propulsion. Monthly task number 6, check oil cleaner for cleaning as necessary. Monthly task number 7, check air intake system. Alright, check the fan, alternator, generator belts. Check the belts have tightened the fan drive of the battery, changing alternator, other end, accessories drive. The belts should neither be too tight nor too loose. Belts are the two imposed with the excess of loads on the crankshaft, alternator bearings, shortening both belt, bearing life excessively over tightened with the belts can result in the crankshaft break. If loose belts will slip, may cause damage to accessory components. Replace on all the belts in the set with when worn, when one is worn. Single belts of a similar size should not be used as a substitute for either matched belt. Slight premature belt wear can result in because of the belt length variation. Alright, Monthly item number check 4, brake shoes wear. Replace the brake shoes when the pad is less than 1/4 an inch thick to replace the brake shoes. To replace the brake shoes, override the brake valve cylinder on the main manifold, but the cylinder collapses. Once the cylinder has collapsed, close the brake shutoff valve located behind or left the main manifold. This will trap the oil in the cylinder, keep the cylinder collapsed. 3. Insert the brake lockup pins. 4. Turn off the engine machine. Following lockup tagout procedure, remove the lower cotter pinner holding brake shoe bracket and the brake lever. See item 4.1 for the figure. 6. Lift up the brake bracket to gain access to the brake shoe. Remove the brake shoe mounting hardware. Replace the brake shoe. Make certain to reinstall the mounting hardware. 8. Lower brake bracket. Reinstall the pin, cotter pin. Repeat the steps 5 through 8 with all the brakes in need. Replacing that after that is done, continue with the following steps. Remove the brake lockup pins. Return the machine to the servicing. Following the logout and tag procedures, turn on the machine. Open the shutoff valve. Monthly item number 5, run the pressure check out main pump propulsion. Pressure checks should be performed every 250 hours or monthly after the engine hydraulics have been thoroughly warmed up. Oil temperature has reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.8 degrees Celsius minimum. Before measuring these checks, read and understand all operation instructions and warnings and cautions. Alright, quarterly or every 500 hours, whichever comes first. Quarterly tasks perform all daily, weekly, monthly lubrication maintenance procedures. Drain fuel tank, replace fuel filters. Weekly item number 2. Weekly item number 3. Quarterly item number 3. Check cooling system and hose. Quarterly item number 4. Test hydraulic oil cleanliness. Replace filters as necessary. Quarterly item number 5. Replace hydraulic tank breathers. Alright, quarterly item number 4, test hydraulic cleanliness. Proper fuel fluid condition is essential to long and product life of the hydraulic components of the system. These precautions should also be observed to ensure the hydraulic system is clean. Filters each change for the oil, preventing the introduction of the contamination into the system. Maintain proper oil level regularly. Serve the filters and breathers in reserve. Take precautions to prevent moisture and contamination. Change the fluid whenever the contamination occurs, because even small amounts of water can affect the system performance as well as induce corrosion and oil breakdown. Alright, your yearly 2,000 hour, whichever comes first. Yearly item task number 1, perform all daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly lubrication maintenance procedure. Yearly number 2, steam clean engine, radiator, oil cleaner, oil cooler. 3, year number 3, item number 3. Inspect wheels for excessive wear. Yearly item number 4. Inspect suction strainer element. Yearly item number 5. Drain, replace hydraulic oil tank, replace all filter elements. Year number 6, 7, and 8. Reserved for future use. Note the recommended engine service intervals for over 1 year. Refer to the engine manual and contact engine manufacturer's engine precautions when welding. When welding, notice that the machine is equipped with an engine that was the electronic control unit. The failure to correctly isolate during the welding is the machine will result in damage not uncovered under warranty. Please take the following steps to avoid damage to the electronic control unit or the ECM. Remove the ground connection between the engine and the main machine frame. Remove the connections to the electronic control unit, the engine, and the engine harness for the control box or the panel. Turn the brake disconnect switch into the off position. Connect to the welder ground close to the welding point so the electronic control unit or ECM or the electronic components are not in the ground path. When installing components to the engine, notice that do not apply thrust load or force either end of the crankshaft during the engine installation or during operation. Do not force or use bolts at the pull of the transmission or other drives in the engine. Be sure to clutch the shaft and drive shafts. Do not restrict proper engine, crankshaft, end play. Failure to follow these instructions may result in severe engine damage. And that completes the Stonedilla Cribber Nordico Equipment Operation and Maintenance Manual.